Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler, and today is episode 100. How to choose which Club Wyndham on the Big Island is right for you. So what I'll do is I'll go through, I've got the resorts, and I'll go through them. I have on a map, and I'll show that shortly. Um, then I've got, notes for the reviews, just to give you a sense of how I'm reviewing it using consistent measures across all of them. I have a summary chart that I'll go through in great detail, and you can pause and take a look at it on your own, because these are my criteria and sort of just some notes that you can tell. And then I'll go through the resort detail. And what I've done is I'll show you on the map. Those are the resorts I'm covering: the WorldMark Kona, Kona Hawaiian, Royal Sea Cliff, Kona Coast Resort, the Hula Resort, the Mauna Loa Resort, and lastly, Paniolo Greens, all available on the WorldMark, and I've stated all of them. I'll have the reviews I've done for the resorts in the notes. So once you go through the video, you can choose to go through each one individually and decide which one's right for you. Hopefully this will be helpful. Before I do that, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel, then I'm diving right into the details. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and WorldMark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. Okay, this chart here is a map. It's a bit of an eye chart, and I'm not sure how well, without zooming in, it is to read it. But basically, I list the resorts in the closest they are to proximity to Kona, Kailua Kona. So WorldMark Kona is about 7/10 of a mile, and right next door is the Kona Hawaiian. Then maybe 3/10 of a mile up the street is the Royal Sea Cliff. Then further up is, and then sort of the next batch down, so that's the first sort of blob of numbers you see there. The second blob is the Royal Kona Coast, which shows up, and then the two right next to each other, the Hula Resort and the Mauna Loa Resort. And then up to the top, the only one in the Waikoloa area is the Paniolo Greens. So you can, stay in Kona, or you can stay up there. And if you're a Club Wyndham, or in my case, I'm a WorldMark, and I use Club Pass. So there's the map. I'll go into some more detail shortly. Let me first tell you a little bit about sort of the criteria that I'm using. Okay, so let me just go through some notes just to sort of give you a context of what I'm doing. So I'm a WorldMark owner. If you're a Club Wyndham owner, the numbers would be different. But I'm reference these in points for WorldMark credits. So I think they're consistent with the Club Wyndham ones. I'm using Club Pass. The review criteria is kind of the review room size, and points is kind of points per square foot. I don't have a ratio, but that's in general what I'm trying to show. The swimming pools, and that's the quality, how nice are they? What do I consider them? Close to the ocean. If you come into Hawaii, you want to be close to the ocean, or you don't. It's a trade-off of points, space, and all sorts of things. And I'll go through availability, and that's, again, from a WorldMark person's perspective. If you're a Club Wyndham person and you own in Hawaii, you have obviously higher priority. And then I'll talk about other amenities. That's things like, do they have a restaurant on site? Do they, what kind of activities do they have? Just general things and sort of notes of mine that I sort of add in as different perspective. And just so you know, the sort of bottom line, the biggest room is the Kona Coast Resort and Hulua. The least points is Paniolo Greens and Mauna Loa and Hulua. Closest to the ocean is definitely the Royal Sea Cliff. It's right on the water. Availability, Kona Coast Resort seems to be the one, it varies all over. And I use the kind of availability as you can get it in Club Pass, and you also can use it in Wyndham destinations. So that's my bottom line one there. So, and then other amenities is the Kona Coast Resort. It has a restaurant, and they have they have a lot of things going on right there. It's also one of the largest. It's got the most locations. So that's what you would expect, and that's probably why the availability is high. But right now, let me go into the summary just to go through in great detail with all the resorts. Okay, this slide's a bit of an eye chart, but on the other hand, I wanted to kind of you know, one page, if you could stop and you can just look around or zoom in on it, it gives you a lot of information all in one place. And I think that's the easiest way for me visually look at it to comparison. And it might help you from a perspective uh, of choosing. Um, so if you look at the square footage points, I'll go across that one first of all. The Kona Coast, you know, it's 12.5 points, and this again, it's when you do the first one, it's the peak period and the off peak, and the weeks are a little bit different when the off peak, so I couldn't really list that out. But you've got a one bedroom at 1,020 square feet, which is quite large, and the two bedroom is 1,624, not nearly as large as some of the other two bedrooms, but definitely good. And it's 16.6 thousand points or 15.7 during the off-peak period, which is when I tend to stay. And again, I've stayed in the one bedrooms using Wyndham rewards points, so that's basically free from my using the credit card. Um, and the Royal Kona, it only has a two bedroom. It has a two bedroom presidential. I didn't list the points for that. It's higher. 14.5, 12.5. That's pretty good as far as that goes. The Royal Sea Cliff, very similar on the two bedrooms to the Royal Kona, which is, to me, it's a trade-off. The little slightly smaller rooms, but you're right on the ocean. So there's the trade-off, right? You get right on the water, and you pay a little bit extra from a points perspective. But again, I would, you know, being in Hawaii, I would at least say try to do it once, if even if you want to try to do save points over time. The Halua and Mauna Loa are right next to each other, and they actually check in as the same facility. And they're kind of the best points perspective if you want to stay in the Kona area. And so they're 9.4, sorry, 9.8 and 8.2. The Hula Resort seems to have slightly larger rooms, really large rooms. So if you're looking at it point size per point, you know, that's a really nice difference. I've stayed at both the Halo and Mauna Loa, and you'll see the reviews. Okay, so that's those two. The WorldMark Kona is kind of, it's there is no non-peak season, and it's very difficult to book. So it's 10K for the 764 square feet, or 12K for the 952, which is still quite good. Paniolo Greens, only two bedrooms, and that's a good points perspective, and you get a nice 1,400 square feet, and you're up in the Waikoloa area if you want to, you know, see that part of the island. So there you have, that's kind of the room sizes. The ocean view, Kona Coast Resort, I just wanted to tell you, you just asked for it, and you might get it. I did ask for it and did get it. The Kona Hawaiian's partial, but it's only if in the upper units up in you know, the higher number of buildings. Royal Sea Cliff, yes, from, in my case, from the deck, and actually from the pools are right on the water. Hulua and Mauna Loa, no. WorldMark, high floors give you some visibility of the ocean across the street, and Paniolo Greens, no, not from the rooms, but you can see the ocean. I did several at night at sunset. I'd watch a sunset, and you can see that from the outside. Pools, Kona Coast has one. Kona Hawaiian has two nice sized ones. The larger of the two is actually the family one, and then the adult one, which is nice to have it broken out that way. Sorry, Kona Hawaiian has two, and there's one there's like a private one up on the top, and then there's the middle one. Royal Sea Cliff has two. Halua has many small. They like have little. Same with the Mauna Loa and the Halua. They're like pods. They like have two or three complexes of like 6 to 8 rooms, and then there's a swimming pool sort of dropped in there, smaller. But each one of them has a swimming pool and a jacuzzi. The WorldMark Kona has one. I wouldn't. It's small to medium. I said small, but it's a nicely laid out area. And Paniolo Greens has one small. And you can get, again, if you're looking for specifics, go to the video and you can see that. And then lastly, kind of comments for the Kona Coast, it's got the pool bar walk to the ocean. You just go through a golf course. I would do that and sit on the rocks. It's not really a beach. Kona Hawaiian, grills at the pool, and wonderful decks. They have ceiling fans in the decks, which I think is great because it can be kind of hot and humid in Hawaii, but having the ceiling fans, particularly in the morning or in the evenings, is really nice to keep it cool. Royal Sea Cliff, amazing ocean views, just fabulous. You have this view from through the pool to the rocks to the ocean and the sunset. It's beautiful. The Hulua, large size rooms, low points, and again, the sort of pods pools that I talked about earlier. Same with the Mauna Loa, a little, not quite as large size. I'm not sure why that is, but that's the way it is. The WorldMark Kona, it's closest to Kona. Hard to book though, but it's nice and relaxing area by the pool. I think they did a great job laying it out in between two buildings. And then Paniolo Greens, only Wyndham Resort in Waikoloa. You have to drive to the ocean. We can go to walk to the shops close by, but mostly it's a stay and drive. I know that was long, but that's the detail for kind of the summary. So now I'm going to go through the resorts and each one in greater detail. I know I went through a lot in the summary slide, but I have more here, and it gives you a little more breakdown so you can read through it more at your leisure. So again, WorldMark Kona is smallest, 2-bedroom, short walk to the ocean. The decks are nice, and you can walk to Kona 7/10 of a mile, or you can take the trolley. The trolley stop is right there. Room sizes 764 square feet, and the 2-bedroom is 952, which is the smallest by quite a bit. The peak, which is the only time, is 10,000 credits and 12,000 for the 2-bedroom. One pool area, nice sized, and has jacuzzi. And close to the ocean. Again, you have to go across the street. There's kind of houses there, but you can walk along the Alihi Drive, which is the road that many of these are along, and there are nice spots to sit and watch the waves and so forth. Mostly you have to drive in all of these to get to a beach area. This is difficult to book. I mean, you literally need to be up early at 13 months out to book this thing. So it's probably the most, it's hilarious. Of all as a WorldMark owner, there's the Club Wyndham ones are mostly available, and the only WorldMark one is very difficult to book. Again, it's closest to town, so food availability is close by. All right, next door to the WorldMark Kona is the Kona Hawaiian, which is, I find, a fabulous place. Large living room, short walk to the ocean is literally across the street again. Huge decks. It's just laid out well. I don't know, but it's not. I've stayed at larger decks, but it's just laid out well. It has a full table and everything, so it's really, really enjoyable. And has the ceiling fan, has a light, so it's very comfortable to sit out. And the units are kind of like an old Hawaiian style, so it kind of feels like you're throwback 50 years to Hawaii. The buildings are wooden. They kind of have the Hawaii motif. It's not a updated, brand new, 2020-ish decor. It's more of an old Hawaiian style. So it's kind of period piece, I guess you would say. I would say it's I think it was built in the 60s or 70s, somewhere in there. There are 2 pool areas. Oh, sorry. The room sizes, the deluxe, which is 14,300 points a peak, non-peak 12,500, and it's 1,156 square feet. Again, you have to use a $99 fee if you're to a WorldMark like me. There are 2 pool areas. One's kind of in the upper level, and there's grills at that. And then there's one with the kid area. And both of them have jacuzzis. The one where they're sort of in the middle of the place, and they lay the pools out really nice. I mean, you're in a resort area, but there's not like a big building surrounding it. It's kind of, there's some nice spaces, and there's even local Hawaiian sort of former houses there that are sort of off limits, but they're noted as what they are. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of Hawaiian history actually part of the resort area. Um, um, Close to the ocean, I mentioned. Availability, I was seeing it in 6 to 9 months that there was availability, and the new WorldMark site lets you look at the availability so you can see that before you call to book it, because you still have to call. And food's, again, 7/10 of a mile, the fitness center. I did not have problems using grills, and free parking is free. Now let's talk about the Royal Sea Cliff. Many rooms have ocean view. Mine did. It was considered partial ocean view. I was up on the fourth floor. A little higher that you get is a little better on the floor, so you can request that a higher floor, just because you're slightly above the palm trees. I think if I was on the third, second, or first, I might not have a view of the ocean because I'd kind of be blocked by the pool building or something like that. I'm on the wing close to the kids area, room 409 specifically. Swimming pool, two pool areas. They have sort of the larger pool, which is where the kids go, but I didn't find it overly crowded or anything like that. And then the adult pool on the far, our complete other side was nice as well. It was a slightly smaller pool, and kind of both of them are kind of open. The one thing about the kid area is they have the grills, and they have an under you can sit underneath the sort of awning. And so if you're wanting to sort of not be burned by the sun or all that, you can sort of sit there and watch the kids play in the pool. So I actually like that area better because it's got a lot more flexibility, and that's where I did most of my cooking. Um, and if you need to use the jacuzzi, that's only on the adult side. It's right on the ocean, and it's just amazing sunsets. And I think in the review, and actually I know in the review, I did a video of one of the sunsets that I had there, so you can get to enjoy that as well. Again, normally available in the 6 to 9 month advanced club pass. I can't say that it's always like that because when I was looking in 6 months out was still the middle of winter. It wasn't summer peak vacation season, so it might be a little more difficult during then. But as far as I can tell, it looks okay. It's about a mile to food in town. It doesn't have a fitness center. There were enough grills. Weren't a lot, but it seemed to work, and parking is free underground. Now for the Kona Coast Resort. I was going to say this is one of my favorites, but they're all kind of my favorites. I don't necessarily find any of them bad. So just as a general comment, which one's best for you depends on what matters to you most, and hopefully this helps. But I found all of them to be very, very nice. But the Kona Coast has the largest rooms, short walk to the ocean. You have to kind of go through the golf course, and you have to be careful. Make sure you do. I did it late in the evening, after the golfers were off, and I was just going to go see a sunset. I wouldn't do it in the middle of the day. You might get hit by a golf ball. But the decks are nice, and I requested an ocean view and got one, so I was able to sit on the deck. You can take a trolley to town from across the street up the hill. There's a shopping center, and the trolley goes there. I think it's every 30 minutes or every hour. The room sizes, nice size, one bedroom, has two baths, and the two bedroom is pretty good size as well. It's 12,500 or 10,900 credits for the one bedroom, and 16,615.7 for two credits. And so it's comparable, not much more than the WorldMark Kona for the one bedroom, a little bit more on the two bedroom size. So if you're needing a one bedroom, it's comparable to the WorldMark, and just a little bit higher than the Hula and so forth. One pool right by the thing, but its nice part is there's a pool and jacuzzi and a bar right there at the swimming pool, so it's kind of one stop does all. Again, close to the owners, and depending on the unit, some of them are right by the pool, and that's the shortest distance, and then there's some that are a little bit up the hill, and so they're a little bit farther, but it's a quarter mile is my guess. Again, I saw it very available, and even available on Wyndham destinations, so you could book it using your Wyndham rewards points, which I have done actually twice. And again, available in Club Pass. Food will be available by the pool, a nice fitness center. Grills never had a problem. They're located throughout the property. And again, free parking. Next up, Hula Resort. Large rooms, really nice large rooms. And it was really, I'm trying to figure out what part of it was large. It had large decks, but maybe that was that made it to 1,200 square feet. The decks were quite long, the length of the unit. Um, and again, one bedroom is 9,800, so it's the lowest. Or if you do it off peak, it's 8,200 points. So it's it's the same price as almost point wise as a studio in Kihei, Maui. So it's almost that price. Two bedrooms, 12,500, 11,800. So if you get them off peak, it's less than the WorldMark Kona, and they're quite a bit bigger. Again, the trade-off is the swimming pools are great. They're smaller, but they're kind of grouped with each set of units has them. And the trade-off is you have to walk to the ocean, and there's a more of a beach access. So it's you're pretty much there going to need a car. It's even to catch the trolley you have to walk about 20 minutes to catch the trolley. Same one by the Royal Kona Coast. Availability, I did not have problems. In fact, I booked it within a month using Wyndham Rewards points. I had my son joining me, and I was in another unit, so I booked that real quick for a couple days, and then he came to join me. So I had sort of a shuffling to do with people visiting. Um, it's available. Food's available outside the timeshare. Okay, fitness center. Some girls, I wouldn't say there are as many. It seemed to be a little more difficult, but the parking's free. So not. I think that's the trade-off you got with the Hula Resort. Right. Next is the Mauna Loa Resort, which is right next to the Hula Resort. The points are the same. The size of the rooms on the two-bedroom a little smaller. The points are the same. So again, it's a good value perspective from my thought. It's the same pool setup. I have two or three pods, I call them, and then there's a pool and a jacuzzi set up for you. Um, Again, availability. I've booked this one with Club Pass and Wyndham Rewards. Um, and again, food's outside, the same fitness center actually. Some girls, again, it's a little hard, but it wasn't too hard, and the parking is free. Last but not least is Paniolo Greens. It's last because it's the farthest from Kona, so I just sort of stayed in this consistent theme. The rooms are large. You need to drive to the ocean. Huge decks. You could walk to Waikoloa Village, and it's the lowest points for a two-bedroom. They're quite popular. A lot of people do like them, and it's kind of nice to be out of the way of all the tourist stuff and stuff like that. And it's really convenient if you want to go to Hilo. You're kind of in central, and it's a little bit shorter to get there, and which means you can get to the volcano because you basically have to go to Hilo to get through to go to the volcano. So it's a quicker drive to get there. So it's kind of a trade-off. It's kind of in the center, which makes it quicker to get to various places, but you're not by the ocean or anything like that. It's about an 8-mile drive, I think, to the ocean. Don't hold me to the exact mileage, but that's a general idea. It's not 20 miles, but it's a little bit of a drive. And you can see the ocean from the parking lot. I was doing a lot of sunset pictures from there. I really enjoyed it. Available off-peak with Club 6 months in advance seems to be the answer, maybe 9 months, but I did not see that as a problem getting it booked. In Waikoloa Village, about a quarter-mile away, you can get the food, has a fitness center. The grills was never an issue, and the parking is free. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. It took a lot to put it together. Please don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the like button.